Hi, everybody. It's Ross. Welcome. Ross Cook Balancing is where you can find a bunch of our stuff, a bunch of our work, a bunch of our change, deep subconscious change technology. Tonight, we're going to talk about a book by Bob Beaudine, and it is called The Power of Who. If you ever get a chance to hear Bob Beaudine speak, go do it. He's a very powerful speaker, and his message translates, and he works with the audience as he has you text 3 or 4 of the most important people in your lives and have you share with them how important they are to you in that given moment. And then while he's still presenting, the room lights up by people responding to those critical texts. And it's one of the more moving things you're going to see in a given seminar. Just really good work. Bob Beaudine, The Power of Who. What the premise is that you're going to have 4 or 5 basic friends, that you already know the people you need to know to quest out and do anything it is that you really want to do in your life. No matter how big. And it sounds so simplistic that, maybe no, believe me. You already know those people. And what's more important is those people already know you. So it's vitally important. And let me ask, if you have 4 or 5 people that you know and they're as close to you as your soul, when's the last time you told them, not for any reason, not for a holiday, when's the last time you told them how important they are and why they're important to you and just dropped it after that? You know, we often talk in relationships at the Center for Balance and Effective Communication. You have to nurture relationships if you're going to want them to live and be vibrant and a part of your life. It's vitally important. Pay attention to the energy of what's going on. And by reaching out to those 4 or 5, and the book is about having those near 4 or 5 and communicating with them at one level, and then the next 12, and then the next 32, and how do you manage that? It has wonderful discussions about when you will have created your greatest relationships in your life, at what ages and what was going on at that time. Bob Beaudine's really done a nice job of discussing those things. Who are you closest to? When did you last tell them? The other thing he says, he has a bunch of rules. And some of the rules are, you've heard before, you have the power to control your thoughts, on and on. But some of the other rules are just very vital, and they're awake and ready to go, and it all fits together like a jigsaw puzzle beautifully. It's a well thought out concept. Here's one of the rules. I won't give all of them to you, but here's one of the amazing rules. It says that most people listen to themselves, but seldom do they talk to themselves. Think about that a second. Let's say something traumatic happened today, and then you get a little afraid or you get knocked a kilter, and then you start listening to what your feelings are telling you instead of talking to yourself. Now, granted, those of you who know me well, those of you who've been in my practice for a while, those who've heard me speak in seminars and webinars and stuff, know that I'm not about that level of conscious mind noise. I'm about deep, profound change. But it is vital to feed your conscious mind something healthy. Okay? So listening to yourself and talking to yourself, Simon Sinek says it really well. We've been saying it for 26 years, but he puts it in a nice capsule. He says, something happens, bam, and we then say, I'm going to be analytic about that. That's what I'm going to go do. No, actually, we're going to go be emotional about it. My metaphor for that is you have a library and you're putting all the books in the library, and and the library is your subconscious mind, and what you put in the library you can take out and they replay. Now, did you consciously put it all in there? No, you didn't. Your subconscious mind has been loading your library for years and years and years, and because we are an associative learner, we then pull them out. So we say, I need an analytic thought. I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to accomplish. We think we're going to be analytic. Now, what if that library, be it a file drawer or be it an entire building, were full not only of the books, but it were completely full of popcorn? So you'd open the file drawer to get out the right book, or you'd go to the shelves to get out the right book, and what would you first have to work through? The popcorn. The popcorn is like the emotionalism of our life. When we go to pull out a file from our subconscious mind, it sorts by number of encode. And something that was not emotional, a fact, a convenient thought, a repetitive, same old thought, doesn't have the emotion as a big traumatic thought. And when you run into a gigantic traumatic thought, that's a lot of popcorn. So when you go to get it out, you're going to get a lot of popcorn. It's easily available and it's right there because it's going to sort by size of program. The more emotional the thought, the more horrific the trouble or the tragedy, the more easily your subconscious brings it to now and then begins to self-talk you about it to let you listen to that program when really what you need to have is management of the energy at a subconscious level and sort it. At a conscious level, Bob says, well, it's the difference between listening to themselves and talking to themselves and setting a standard for yourself. We go a little deeper than that, but that's an important idea right there about talking to yourself, prescribing for yourself, being, as we would put it, in self-management, active self-management for yourself. Okay? Now, Bob is just full of all kinds of amazing things, and he's a powerful presenter. The most important fact, I think, is that the people you know that are the closest to you, they equally know you. So when you reach out to them, they're going to reach back to you. And when time comes somewhere down the road, you're going to need that association. Those people have that association for you. Okay, he also brings up another thought, and it's a brilliant thought. Are you ready? Well, most of us would say, well, I'm not really ready. Let me go get ready to get ready to get ready. That's not what we're talking about. Are you ready? Are you practiced? Are you good? Are you committed? Are you ready to risk and venture out into something? This is an internal journey that when you get well enough inside, you don't have to have all the things figured out there, but you have to maintain your internal source. You have to say, yeah, I'm ready to risk at that moment. I'm going to manage the energy through the wellness in me, and then I'm going to go out there and do things, accomplish things, or attempt things, and then move around associatively based on the wellness of my being. He uses the example of Woodstock. The old famous music festival, okay? We all know Jefferson Airplane. We all know Santana. We all know The Who. Why do we know them? Well, at Woodstock, they weren't known well at all. No one knew who they were. But it started to rain, and it started to pour at Woodstock. And those three bands I just mentioned, they answered the call. They went on stage. They played. They're famous because of it. They came from nowhere to the top because the world saw them. They were ready, and when their opportunity came, they took it. How many remember a band named the Incredible String Band? They were a mainliner. They were big time. Who? The Incredible String Band didn't answer the call. They didn't actively play that day. They don't play in the rain, and they got left behind. They got left behind because they weren't willing to take their wellness out there and extend themselves with it. They just weren't. Now, the people who know you the best, the people who believe in you the most, they're there to help you. When's the last time you talked to them? When's the last time you nurtured them? When's the last time you just told them plain flat how important they are to you? When Bob Bodine does this in a group of 300 people in a room, and 300 people text 4 to 5 messages to their most important people, he then stands up and says, we just saved someone's life. Someone out there, someone that means the most to you in your life was struggling today, and you saved them. You gave them a little bit to go one more day, to go try one more effort, one more hope. Okay? It's a good book, The Power of Who by Bob Bodine. Go read it. Read parts of it. Take whatever you need out of it today. It's a good book. You can find PFDs that have summaries of it on the internet. You don't have to have the money today to do it. But Bob Bodine is a pro. He's a real pro. And he has a great message. And the fact is, the people around you love you the most. They know you the best. They are there for you. And what are you doing to stay with them for no other reason than you're with them? I'm Ross Cook. My company is the Center for Balance and Effective Communication. We've been teaching profound change for 26 years. I mean deep, subconscious, profound change for 26 years. You can find me at Ross Cook Balancing. Won't be long. There are going to be a bunch of new websites and all kinds of things happening. We're really excited about that. My hope for you, my dream for you, my imagination for you tonight is just do something differently. Do something slightly differently than you've done it today and yesterday and the day before. I believe in you and you can do it. All right? We'll talk again soon. Until then, be well and Jomo.